big meetings, one loud message. India will punish terror sponsors and the perpetrators of the Pahalgam carnage. The blood of Indians is not cheap, and the Prime Minister has assured that justice will be delivered to the victims of Pahalgam terror attack. In an hour from now, the Cabinet Committee on Security, or the CCS, will be meeting for a second time after the Pahalgam terror attack. Not just the CCS, there are 4 high-level back-to-back meetings today. These meetings signal India's strategic, political and military intent with regards to terrorism. Now, the first meeting, like we told you, will be the Cabinet Committee on Security, where the focus will be on immediate counter-terror measures and India's strategic options. The second meeting will be the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, or the CCPA, where discussions on India's diplomatic push against Pakistan will also take place. The third meeting will be that of the Cabinet's Economic Affairs Committee, and the fourth will be a Union Cabinet meeting. Now, remember, after the first CCS meeting, India announced a slew of diplomatic strikes on Pakistan, including putting the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. What will happen after today's meeting? What is that big announcement that's going to take place? Let's also tell you about what has been happening in the last 24 hours. The message that has been sent by the Prime Minister to the forces, that you have a free hand. Now, what is India's strategy? Because India, its forces, it is Akraman ready. After the first CCS meeting that took place after the Pahalgam terror attack on the 23rd, what was the action taken? 5 diplomatic strikes, including putting the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, including asking Pakistanis to leave India, including, declaring Pakistan diplomats as persona non grata. These were the kind of steps that were taken. Now, today, the second CCS meeting will take place in moments from now. What is the message that's going to come out of this? What action are we expecting? Will mitti mein mila denge be in action? Will a formal announcement of a big decision be made today after the CCS meeting? There is a lot of anticipation around what the meeting is going to be about, what are the big decisions that are going to be taken. We have Pragya joining us, we have Pradeep Datta and also Sabyasachi. Let me go across to my colleague Pragya. Pragya, you've been tracking not just the CCS meeting that took place previously, but also the slew of meetings that have been taking place over the last few days. Yesterday itself, a loud message was in fact sent out, where the Prime Minister has also conveyed to the Indian Armed Forces that they have a free hand. What is expected today in today's CCS meeting? What are you gathering?
Well, 2 important meetings today. One is of Cabinet Committee on Security and another is Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs. So both the meetings will be chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We are given to understand that whatever the decision the government is taking right now will be communicated at least and discussed in CCS, and CCPA is also very important given the fact that there is also even whatever the action the government is going to take, in fact they are going to have a sort of strategy in place for that as well. Remember how RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat, which is one of the rare meetings that we had seen in past, he also came to 7LK, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is also important, significant, because RSS is an organization which is a very big social organization, and when you need to have a policy in place or when you need to have big political decisions in place, you also need public opinion and public support for that. We are given to understand that Pahalgam was discussed in that particular meeting, and also the support was extended on part of RSS chief. So in wake of that, these meetings are very crucial, as Prime Minister has.
Yeah, I want you to stay with us. As we decode these meetings once again, let me go across and tell our viewers about what happened in yesterday's meeting as we go back to our reporters in just a moment. There was a big meeting held yesterday where the Prime Minister has made his intent extremely clear. The Prime Minister has told our forces, as per sources, that there is a national resolve against terrorism. In that meeting, the Prime Minister also told India's military command that deal a crushing blow to terrorism. That was the message sent by the Prime Minister. Then the Prime Minister also conveyed that the entire country has full faith in the Indian Armed Forces. It was also said that you have complete operational freedom. Decide mode. This becomes very important. What does free hand mean? Ahead of the CCS meeting yesterday, the message that was sent to the country's military command and the Indian Armed Forces is that you can decide the mode, the targets and the timing of your response. So when the Prime Minister says that mitti mein mila denge, the promise that Prime Minister has given to the victims of the Pahalgam terror attack, here this was the message sent out to the forces: decide mode, decide targets, timing of a response. My colleague Pradeep is also with us. Pradeep, free hand has been given to forces, a message, a strong message has been sent out, and we've also been seeing how this kind of resolve and this kind of messaging is, making Pakistan Army and the Pakistan Army leadership quake in its boots. What are you tracking, Pradeep?
Yes, we have seen that how, because of the slew of measures that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken in recent past, has led Pakistan tremble, and they are already shivering down the spine, because that's one of the reasons that you must have seen. They're either resorting to nuke-mongering, fear-mongering, or you can see the hollow sloganeering and hollow threat coming from their side. But yes, there are several options. The Prime Minister yesterday said that he will continue with its resolve of crushing terror, and then he said that he has full faith in Indian armed forces, and he said that now they will be the one who will be free enough to choose their target as well as timing. One thing is quite clear, that whenever they are going to go for any kind of a military option, one, there will be secrecy, then there will be surprise element, and then there is going to be shock for Pakistan. Yes. Because this time the retribution will be with great enormity, more than what really happened during Balakot. See, there are one option is one that they can anytime cross line of control, because India has already conveyed it in 2016, because if you'll keep on violating line of control, this line of control is not going to be sacrosanct. For us, that was one of the reasons that in 2016 the first surgical strike was conducted. Then there can be an Air Force like strike, what we did in Balakot in 2019. So the first time the surgical strike took place 10 days. That second surgical strike was carried out just 12 days after Pulwama bombing. There is every possibility, maybe 14 days or 15 days.
Yes.
Just as a matter of time. Anything can happen anytime. And Indian forces
take our viewers through where you are. And because the focus is going to be on the meeting of the CCS, which is at 11 o'clock today, where are you? What is the movement you're tracking? Also take our viewers through it. Okay, I'll go back to my colleague Pradeep Datta once again, as our reporters are on the ground and they are going to bring you minute-by-minute updates on the big meetings that are lined up today. But before I come to you, Sabyasachi, let's also tell our viewers about how, as the country gears to avenge the killing of 26 civilians, Prime Minister Modi also dropped a big hint on the government's preparedness to thwart terrorism and its backers. The Prime Minister spoke of limited time and big goals, and while he added that his statement was not in the current context, the message that was left unsaid resonated with the audience, who applauded wholeheartedly.
साथियों, हमने विकसित भारत के लक्ष्य के लिए अगले 25 वर्षों की समय सीमा तय की है। हमारे पास समय सीमित है, लक्ष्य बड़े हैं। ये मैं वर्तमान स्थिति के लिए नहीं कह रहा हूं।
समय सीमित है, लक्ष्य बड़े हैं. That message of the Prime Minister is resonating across the country. Sabyasachi, you two are tracking the details of the big meetings that are to be held today. What's the latest update with regards to what's on the agenda today?
Well, we are reporting from 7 LKM, where the action will begin soon, and the traffic movement has reduced, and in short while we'll see the leaders coming in at the residence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now the message has been very much clear from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He spoke in Bihar, he spoke in Man Ki Baat. Clear message that mitti mein mila denge. Now, yesterday we had seen that the meeting that took place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Raksha Mantri, the CDS, the chief of 3 armed forces. Now, today meeting also would be extremely crucial. Now, the CCPA meeting, which has been called in by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where several of the union ministers will be present, because this meeting is extremely crucial, because last time this meeting was called was back when Pulwama attack had taken place. place. And immediately after that meeting on 26 February, we see that armed forces carried out an airstrike on the Balakot, on the terrorist camp. Now, the message from Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday was very much clear that a free hand has been given to the armed forces and they are free to take any sort of action against the terrorists. Now, this meeting will be extremely crucial because A, the oppositions have demanded for a special session of the parliament. Second, this meeting is important because this is a coordination between the central government and the other top ministries, and certain policies will also be formulated that will go ahead and attack Pakistan.
Yes.
So clearly lot of anticipation as far as the meeting is.
A lot of activity in the national capital today. All eyes will be on those 4 meetings. Coming back to you, Pragya, because today the focus will also be on the cabinet meeting. What are you gathering from your sources? What is expected in all these big meetings? Because right now, in about 40 minutes from now, the all-important CCS meeting will start, following which we know there will be a CCPA meeting. What more do you know from your sources?
Well, very important, there are very, it is not often that CCPA is called, but this is also an important committee where it has also NDA allies apart from all the top ministers including Nitin Jairam Gadkari, Nirmala Sitharaman, Piyush Goyal, Jitendra Manji and Kinjarapu Ram Mohan Naidu and Annapurna Jha, Kiran Rijiju. This is also important to have a political narrative on foreign affairs, foreign issues, and also not just that, apart from everything related to internal security, this can be discussed in this particular meeting. So how to deal with whatever is happening in the country right now and how is it impacting on the international platform, these all things are going to be discussed in this CCPA meeting, and this is what the mandate of this committee particularly is. It is also chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So all the developments politically that is happening in the country in wake of this Pahalgam terror attack is surely going to be discussed in this particular committee, is what we are given to understand right now. But having said that, CCS is also there. Important decisions that will be communicated to few of the ministers who are involved in this particular national security matter. And the freedom that has been given to the forces last night by Prime Minister, where Prime Minister told them that they need to decide on their mode, target, and who and how and where to take this action, is also has been communicated to these leaders. What more is needed in that direction is going
standing by to see how after the first CCS meeting, there's a lot of conversation about how after the first CCS meeting, Pakistan was punished diplomatically. Today, after the second CCS meeting, what is going to happen? There's a lot of anticipation around it. And as India strategizes, as India, its political leadership, its military command is in action mode, what do you think is happening in Pakistan? Let's tell our viewers about how this is a country